All right, welcome. You have found Scotchland. Not Scotland, but Scotchland. Actually, you found Telex, the Whiskey Tech, here to talk about another short review of another hopefully really good dram. Usually we get good ones here. This time we're going to look at, wow, this is a, do I suspect color maybe in this? I think maybe. This is the and let's learn how to say it first. Now, when you see the Dail in Scotland, it's not Dale, it's Dal. Like Ugadal, for example. Ugadal, not Ugadale. Okay. So when you're looking at this, it's not Dailuaine, like I've always said Dailuaine for like the longest time. It's Dailuaine. Dailuaine. So emphasis on the Dal and then U and then just the N at the end. They're not really big on the ale sound or AI like being an A. I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, this is the Doll Ewan. It's a 16-year-old Flora and Fauna bottle. And, Flora and Fauna has been around for a while. I didn't realize that it's been around since 1991. It's an older, what I consider an older group of offerings from Diageo, and there are a lot of them. Some are extinct, some are unicorn bottles. This one's still available, thankfully, and it's a kind of a hidden gem of a distillery. This is the only official bottling that they actually do. This one's at 43%. I wish it was at 48, but 43%. Most likely colored and chill filtered, unfortunately, but this is what they usually use in a lot of Johnny Walkers. If you're familiar with a lot of their stuff, probably more the higher ends. I'm not sure how much they would use in this, for the red or even maybe the black gets some of this. I'm sure, but probably some of their better offerings if you're familiar with them. That blended malt. This is a sherry cask maturation, so Diageo doesn't really get specific with their recipes and what they do. But I suspect this is probably 12 years in like a bourbon and then maybe matured for the from let's see 13 14 15 16 4 years into the sherry to probably refill, or I don't suspect first fill, but we'll see. Let's get a good nose here. Always go neat. It's been sitting out for at least for 16 minutes at a minimum. I usually do a year per minute. Mm. First on the nose, the first note I get is a spicy cinnamon, not just cinnamon, but a spicy cinnamon. Slight smoky raspberries. Not heavy, not peated, just a nice smoked raspberry. Some leather in there, and some grassy notes, like a grass, fresh cut grass. There's a little sulfur, but it's not off-putting. I don't mind sulfur if you have had the Bowmore 15 Darkest or a Glendulin, um, Ben Nevis, Mortlock. You might be familiar with the sulfuric kind of a tone you might get. And some really sweet roses in there, too. It's a nice nose. Let's go in for a taste. Oh, wow. It's very chocolatey. Dark and milk chocolate, both. A bit of mocha, a little, not bitter, but maybe slightly, just enough to give it balance. Espresso note goes into like a walnut. Then, wow, it gets really nutty. Cashews, hazelnuts. But it's got some more balance. It's got some figs, dates, figgy dates. And some green grapes are even in there, like medium level. Red grapes. I'm sorry, not green grapes, red grapes. That's why we're doing a live review. And this is it's not a thin mouth coat. It's not a heavy mouth coat. I consider it a medium mouth coat on the waxy level. It's not overly waxy, but not under thin. It's not thin like Glengoyne might be. The finish seems a bit on the shorter side for me, medium to short. It has a nice earthiness, almost like a gravy-like quality to it. A lot of malted barley's there, bit of smoke still there, and a lot of like a woody, like a cedar wood, not oaky wood, but more of a cedar like wood. It's a bit dry on the finish. Definitely suspect that we're dealing with mostly Oloroso here, and I think that's where the dryness comes from. It's it's funny because it's got a really good balance of the bitter, the sweet, and the savory. It's I would say it's mostly savory. Well, it's got some sweetness, but I'd say, yeah, mostly savory, a little bit of sweetness, and a little bit of bitter, just to balance all that out. Let's do a little drop of water and see if we get anything different here. Have a little fun with it. Always do neat first, and I'm talking like a drop. This is 43%, so don't be going, getting any ideas on. I'm talking 2 drops of water, and believe me, it does make a huge difference. I've tested this all the time. It's tried and true. Even 40% ABV. After you enjoy it neat, no frills, give it a couple drops of water, see what happens. Sometimes if you have I know it sounds weird to say a high-end 40% whiskey, they are out there. If you find them and they're good quality, then they will, if the cask is good, and there are some other reviewers that are correct, I've heard that, where they talk about the cask, being the star of the show. And if the casks are good, the ABV doesn't have to be all that high for it to be a good dram. So that does happen a lot. Oh, well, see? Big difference on the nose. It brings chocolate mostly to the nose, but it also brings a lot, and I mean a ton of herbs, like mossy grasses. Wow. There's even some banana in there. That is unbelievably different. But more on the herbal side. A lot of pine. Interesting. Spicy. Definitely spicier. Caliente and black pepper. It's spicy and black peppery. Definitely brings the cinnamon up a notch. Not sure. I think I prefer it neat, but I do appreciate the option of having a slight difference in the palate when it gets a drop or two of water. That's always fun. It makes it more interesting that way. The finish. It unfortunately the water does not help with the finish. It becomes a bit bland, but there is some mint in there, some minty menthol notes. There's no minerality detected at all on the finish, and I've heard some stories where people thought this was an overly bitter dram. I mean, I do get the sense of walnuts, which is a more of a bitter nut, but to me, it's got so much sweetness and savory notes to balance it out. I think it's a well balanced, interesting dram. Now, the coloring chill filtering burned me a bit, Diageo. I hope you guys, stop doing that. It'd be nice. I'd also like to see, instead of 43%, be 46 to 48. 48 preferred. 48% ABV, non-colored, non-chill filtered. I think you'd have a 5-star whiskey. With that said, since we do have these issues, but even though it's a good taste, it's complex, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I know it seems a bit generous when it comes to the craft being as off, but I'll be honest, it does taste good. Even if the E150, I know if you put a boatload in there, sometimes it can affect both the nose and the taste. Believe it or not, if you put enough in there, it will affect it. Chill filtering also affects a lot of things, but even with those negative qualities there, it's still, I think, the best 43% whiskey I've had in a long, long, long time. Is it a sherry bomb? I mean, it's a heavily sherry dram. It's definitely not for people that are not into sherry. I mean, it might not be as strong as an Abana, but It's only because the ABV is not there. If you had the ABV on this one, as you do a dram like that, this would be definitely a sherry bomb. So take that for what it is. It's definitely, I think, a really great intro to sherry scotch for a lot of people. 16 years, and you can get it. I mean, I don't put value into my reviews. I try to keep it, simple. But it's $60. I mean, $60 plus a little bit for shipping. I mean, that's for a 16-year bottle, only distillery, official bottling they have. I think it's worth a pickup, and you can still find it pretty easy overseas. You cannot get this in the United States, unfortunately. It's just not going to be at any store. I'm sorry. But if you have a way to order, there's plenty of shops out there that will, I swear, will get it to you. Well, hopefully you had fun. I appreciate y'all stopping by. We're going to do a new live discussion here with Malt Muser in a little bit. We'll talk about this, and we'll talk about some other things that we've been having fun with this week, and hope to see you again soon. Just join here in a second. I'll restart a new live feed, and hope you guys are enjoying the short reviews as well on the side. Sláinte vá for now.